Chapter 7, Emotional Connection and Attachment. Lesson 7.1, The Role of Emotional Connection in Physical Intimacy. How emotional intimacy enhances physical intimacy. All right, let's cut to the chase. Emotional and physical intimacy go together like peanut butter and jelly. Sure, you could have one without the other, but it's so much better when they're together, right? Emotional intimacy is the warm and fuzzy foundation that makes physical intimacy deeper, more meaningful, and way more satisfying. When you're emotionally connected with your partner, the physical side of things gets an upgrade because you're not just going through the motions. You're building on trust, communication, and a shared connection. In this lesson, we'll talk about how to strengthen both emotional and physical intimacy so you and your partner can enjoy all the good stuff that comes with a deeper bond. The benefits of emotional intimacy in physical relationships. Increased vulnerability. When you trust each other, you're not afraid to be your true selves. This vulnerability doesn't just make Netflix marathons cozier, it leads to a more authentic, open, and fulfilling physical connection. Enhanced communication. Let's be real. Good communication is everything. Emotional intimacy helps you both get better at saying, "Hey, this is what I need," in and out of the bedroom. That leads to a healthier, more respectful relationship where both of you feel heard. Greater physical satisfaction. When you're emotionally in sync, the physical stuff feels a whole lot better. There's something about that emotional security that makes everything feel more connected and meaningful. Reduced anxiety and stress. Emotional intimacy acts like a cozy blanket. When you feel emotionally supported, you're way more relaxed. This means less stress and a more comfortable experience when it comes to physical closeness. Challenges to emotional and physical intimacy. Even when you're head over heels for each other, life likes to throw curveballs that can mess with your emotional and physical intimacy. Here are some common hurdles. Emotional distance. If you've drifted apart emotionally, the physical side of things can feel a bit well off. Without that emotional connection, physical intimacy can start to lose its spark. Busy schedules. Between work, kids, and trying to remember if you took the laundry out of the dryer, there's not always time for intimacy. Busy schedules can make it hard to carve out moments for emotional or physical closeness. Unresolved conflict. Got unresolved issues simmering in the background? Those conflicts can put a wall between you and your partner, making it tough to connect emotionally or physically. How to strengthen emotional and physical intimacy. Ready to level up both emotional and physical intimacy? Here's how to make sure you're not just passing like ships in the night. 1. Prioritize emotional closeness. Make time to actually talk to each other. Share what's going on in your day, how you're feeling, and what you've been thinking about. These conversations build emotional closeness and make you feel more connected. 2. Communicate your needs. When it comes to physical intimacy, don't be shy. Talk openly about your needs, desires, and any boundaries. Clear communication makes sure both of you feel understood and respected. 3. Create time for physical connection. Even if you're juggling a million things, make time for physical closeness. It doesn't always have to be a grand gesture. Small things like holding hands or snuggling on the couch count too. 4. Resolve conflicts. If there's any tension or unresolved issues hanging over your heads, deal with it. Sorting out conflicts clears the path for a more relaxed and intimate relationship on all fronts. 5. Build trust. Trust is the secret sauce of intimacy. Keep it going by being honest, reliable, and supportive. When trust is solid, emotional and physical closeness comes naturally. Hat reflection exercise. Take a moment to think about the emotional and physical intimacy in your relationship. How emotionally connected do you feel with your partner? Are there areas where you'd like to strengthen your emotional or physical bond? What steps can you take to create more opportunities for closeness? By focusing on both emotional and physical intimacy, you'll be building a relationship where you and your partner feel fully connected, supported, and understood, both in the heart and in the moments you share together. Okay, that's all she wrote for lesson 7.1. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, especially if you're listening to the free audio-only course. If you bought the premium course, you'd have our handy-dandy chapter summaries at your fingertips. Every chapter boiled down to the basics for easy reference. Get that bad boy right now at freemarriagecourse.com. Lesson 7.2. The importance of emotional safety in intimacy. What is emotional safety? Picture this. You're hanging out with your partner and you want to share something that's been on your mind. Maybe it's a tough day at work or a weird dream involving talking penguins. Whatever it is, emotional safety means you can share without worrying that your partner will laugh, judge, or dismiss you. It's all about feeling secure enough to be your true self. Quirks, fears, feelings, and all, knowing that your partner will meet you with empathy, respect, and maybe even a laugh, but the good kind. Emotional safety is a game changer when it comes to both emotional and physical intimacy. If you're too busy guarding your feelings like Fort Knox, it's hard to connect on a deep level. But when you know your emotions are safe, real intimacy can bloom. Key elements of emotional safety. Trust. This is the foundation of emotional safety. When you trust your partner, you can be vulnerable without worrying they'll use it against you or accidentally bring up that one embarrassing story in front of your friends. Non-judgment. No one wants to feel like they're being silently scored on their feelings. Emotional safety means you can express what's on your mind without your partner giving you side-eye or telling you you're overreacting. Empathy. It's not just about saying, "I hear you." Real empathy is when your partner gets where you're coming from and makes you feel like your emotions are totally valid, even if you're upset about something as small as the last slice of pizza disappearing. Consistent. Emotional safety isn't a one-and-done deal. It's built over time, like adding bricks to a house. When you keep showing up for each other through the good, the bad, and the ugly, it creates a safe space where both of you can be real. How emotional safety impacts intimacy. Emotional safety is like the secret sauce that makes emotional and physical intimacy really click. When you've got it, both you and your partner can communicate better, get closer, and feel more secure. Here's how it impacts intimacy. Deeper emotional connection. When you feel safe enough to spill your innermost thoughts, yes, even the ones about your weird penguin dreams, it brings you closer. This kind of vulnerability builds trust and strengthens your bond. Increased physical intimacy. Emotional safety means you're relaxed and comfortable with each other, which makes physical closeness feel more natural and enjoyable. When you're emotionally secure, physical intimacy becomes less about the mechanics and more about the connection. Reduced fear of rejection. In an emotionally safe space, you're not scared to express what you want or need, whether it's emotional support or a back rub. When you trust that your partner won't judge or reject you, intimacy flourishes. How to create emotional safety in your relationship. Building emotional safety doesn't happen overnight, but with some effort, you can create a space where both you and your partner feel secure. Here's how to make it happen. 1. Practice active listening. When your partner talks, really listen without jumping in, judging that, or offering solutions right away. Sometimes they just need you to hear them out, not fix the problem. 2. Show consistent support. Be there when it counts. Whether they need a shoulder to cry on or someone to rant to about that coworker, being a reliable source of support builds emotional safety over time. 3. Encourage vulnerability. Make sure both of you feel comfy opening up about the deep stuff, like fears, dreams, or even embarrassing moments. When you lead with vulnerability, your partner will feel safe doing the same. 4. Be honest and transparent. Nothing builds trust like honesty. Share what's on your mind and encourage your partner to do the same, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first. 5. Respect boundaries. Everyone has their limits, and respecting those is a key part of emotional safety. Make sure you both feel okay setting boundaries and honor them when they're in place. Reflection exercise. Take a minute to think about how emotionally safe you feel in your relationship. Do you feel comfortable being vulnerable with your partner, or is there something holding you back? What can you do to create a safer, more supportive environment for both of you? How can you build even more trust and security with your partner? By focusing on emotional safety, you'll not only deepen your emotional connection, but also strengthen the physical side of your relationship. And when both partners feel secure, understood, and loved, that's when the real magic happens. Lesson 7.3, Rebuilding Emotional Intimacy After Conflict. Why emotional intimacy fades after conflict. Let's be real. Arguments happen. Whether it's about who forgot to pick up milk or a deeper issue, conflict can throw a wrench in the emotional closeness you've built with your partner. When emotions flare up, words can fly, and suddenly you've got a case of the emotional cold shoulder. Hurt feelings, misunderstandings, and those, "oh no, I shouldn't have said that," moments can make you feel disconnected. Over time, unresolved arguments can erode that sweet, cozy emotional intimacy like a leaky roof in a rainstorm. But don't worry, rebuilding emotional intimacy after a conflict is totally possible and super important. It's all about reconnecting, rebuilding trust, and making sure both of you feel heard and valued. Let's dive into how you can patch things up and get back to that warm and fuzzy place. Steps to rebuilding emotional intimacy. 1. Acknowledge the conflict. Step 1. Don't pretend that argument didn't happen. Sweeping it under the rug just means you'll trip over it later. Once things have cooled down, have a calm, grown-up chat about what went down. 2. Apologize and take responsibility. Look, we all mess up. Own your part in the conflict, apologize, and acknowledge what went wrong. It's not about assigning blame. It's about creating a solid foundation to rebuild trust. 3. Forgive and let go. Holding on to resentment? Not helpful. Once you've both apologized and aired out the issue, practice forgiveness and let go of the grudge. Trust us, your emotional intimacy will thank you. 4. Reconnect through affection. Sometimes a good hug says what words can't. After you've sorted things out, show a little physical affection, a hug, a kiss, even holding hands. Physical touch is like emotional glue, bringing you back together. 5. Revisit the positive aspects of your relationship. Remember why you like each other in the first place. Reflect on what makes your relationship awesome. Share happy memories, express appreciation, and remind each other why you're in this together. 6. Create new positive experiences. Nothing says we're back on track like making new memories. Whether it's planning a fun date night, going for a walk, or tackling something new together, these moments help rebuild the emotional bond after a disagreement. Challenges in rebuilding emotional intimacy. Let's be honest, rebuilding emotional intimacy isn't always smooth sailing, especially if the conflict hit hard. Some bumps along the road might include lingering resentment. If one or both of you are holding on to hurt feelings, it's going to be tough to fully reconnect. Avoidance. Pretending the conflict didn't happen doesn't make it go away. Avoiding the issue just creates more distance and tension. Fear of vulnerability. After a fight, opening up again can feel a bit like tiptoeing into a cold pool. Scary, and you're not sure you want to dive in. How to overcome these challenges. So how do you navigate these tricky spots? Here's what you can do. Communicate openly. Dodging the conversation won't solve anything. Make an effort to talk about what happened and how it made you feel. Open, honest communication is key to getting back on track. Be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is emotional intimacy after a big argument. Take your time, give each other space, and let trust rebuild naturally. Prioritize empathy. Try to see things from your partner's perspective. Putting yourself in their shoes helps create a compassionate, understanding environment for both of you to heal. Reflection exercise. Think back to a recent conflict. You know the one. Ask yourself, how did the argument affect your emotional connection? What steps can you take to rebuild that intimacy? How can you practice more empathy and forgiveness moving forward? By intentionally working to rebuild emotional intimacy, you can patch up those rough spots, restore trust, and get back to that strong, connected relationship, even after tough disagreements. And that's all she wrote for lesson 7.3. You're going to want to punch me in the face, but the powers that be really want you to know about our super valuable premium course. Isn't saving your marriage worth the cost of a dinner out? Okay, that was dramatic, but you get the point. freemarriagecourse.com, freemarriagecourse.com, freemarriagecourse.com. Okay, I'm done now. On to lesson 7.4. Lesson 7.4. Cultivating gratitude and appreciation in relationships. The role of gratitude in strengthening relationships. All right, let's be real. After a while in a long-term relationship, it's easy to get comfortable and forget to say thank you for the little things. You know, like how your partner always remembers to make your coffee just right, or doesn't judge you for binge watching yet another season of whatever on Netflix. Gratitude is like the secret sauce that keeps your relationship fresh, reminding both of you why you're awesome together. When you take a moment to appreciate each other, you're not just making your partner feel good, you're building emotional intimacy and keeping the vibe positive. So, if you want a relationship that feels connected and full of warmth, even on laundry day, it's time to make gratitude a regular habit. Key benefits of practicing gratitude in relationships. 1. Enhanced emotional connection. Saying, "I appreciate you," isn't just a nice gesture, it deepens your bond. Every time you acknowledge your partner, you're reinforcing those good vibes of love, care, and respect. 2. Increased positivity. Gratitude helps you focus on the good stuff. Instead of nitpicking the socks left on the floor, again, you start noticing the sweet things your partner does, like how they always save you the last slice of pizza. 3. Reduced resentment. Let's be honest. Resentment builds up when you feel unappreciated. A simple thanks for doing the dishes can work wonders in making your partner feel valued, not taken for granted. 4. Improved communication. Gratitude opens the door to better communication. When you make your partner feel appreciated, they're more likely to share what's on their mind without worrying about judgment. Number 5. Increased relationship satisfaction. Fun fact. Couples who regularly practice gratitude report higher levels of happiness and satisfaction. It's like giving your relationship a happiness boost. Challenges to practicing gratitude. Sure, gratitude sounds easy enough, but let's be real, sometimes life gets in the way. Here are some common challenges: routine and complacency. Once you settle into your relationship, it's easy to let gratitude slip off the radar. The daily grind takes over, and suddenly saying thanks feels less urgent than finding the remote. Focusing on negatives. Stressful times can make us zero in on what's not working, like that recurring argument about the thermostat. Gratitude helps shift that focus to the positives, but it can be tricky when tensions are high. Unspoken expectations. When you expect certain things from your partner without saying anything, hello, mind readers don't exist, gratitude tends to fall by the wayside. The key is to recognize those expectations and still show appreciation. How to cultivate gratitude in your relationship. Ready to sprinkle some extra appreciation into your relationship? Here's how to make it happen. 1. Say thank you regularly. Whether it's for picking up the groceries or just being there, a simple thank you goes a long way. It's the little acknowledgments that build up emotional currency over time. 2. Acknowledge small acts of kindness. Don't wait for grand gestures. Did they make you coffee? Give you the remote? Tell them you noticed. Even the small stuff counts in the gratitude department. 3. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down one thing you appreciate about your partner each day. Not only does this keep you focused on the good stuff, but you can also look back at it during tougher times for a reminder of why you're grateful. 4. Express appreciation in different ways. Everyone has a love language. Whether your partner feels loved through words, touch, or help around the house, show your gratitude in a way that speaks to them. 5. Reflect on your journey together. Take a moment to think about everything you've been through as a couple. The highs, the lows, and the funny moments in between. It's all part of what makes your relationship unique and worth celebrating. How to encourage gratitude from your partner. Gratitude is contagious in a good way, so if you want more of it from your partner, here's how to encourage it. Lead by example. Show your appreciation, and your partner will likely follow suit. Gratitude has a way of sparking more gratitude. Create a gratitude ritual, whether it's a nightly "what I appreciate about you" chat before bed, or a weekly gratitude date. Having a ritual makes it easier to keep the appreciation flowing. Celebrate milestones together. Take time to celebrate those anniversaries, promotions, or even just surviving a particularly tough week. It's a great chance to express how much you appreciate each other. Reflection exercise. Time to check in with yourself. How often do you express gratitude to your partner? Are there times you might have taken your partner for granted? What can you do to consistently show your appreciation and keep that emotional connection strong? Practicing gratitude is like watering the plant that is your relationship. It helps it grow, thrive, and look way less wilted. So go ahead, sprinkle some appreciation around and watch your relationship bloom. Okay, chapter 7 is officially in the books. Emotional stuff is generally the hardest part for most people, but trust me, if you internalize chapter 7, truly take it to heart, and put it into action, amazing things can happen. Now, on to the final chapter. Chapter 8, Applying Course Concepts.